All right. There we go. That's better. Got to turn it around and do it from the other end. Because that's the question of whether or not I have enough. Let's see. Be safe when you're driving there, Daniel. And just for everybody to know, that's the part where I've done it wrong. I've got to go in here and customize my stream elements. But I'm not here 8 a.m. Pacific daylight time. Well, technically I am here 8 a.m. Pacific daylight time, but it's not Pacific daylight time right now. It's just Pacific Standard Time. So you'd have to add an hour to each one of those, except for the UTC time. So that would be 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, noon Eastern Daylight Time, yada yada. I'll let come on, there we go. This is where having a bit of string would be useful, but I don't have a bit of string, so, and I'm right. That pretty much adds up perfectly. All right, back into the fire. I'm not even going to worry about this nibbing yet. Actually, yeah, I will, because I've got it right here. I can do it. Let's just put it right into the vise for a moment. I'm just going to cut that off with the hacksaw real quick. Bandsaw, hacksaw, same thing. Just who's doing the moving. There we go. There was a nubbin on there that we don't want. I could have filed it off. That would have taken a while. I could have tried to hot cut it off, but I think that was the result of the hot cut. So let's go ahead and do some quick measuring here. Bend. All right, leave that there. Grab the piece of soapstone I was needing. Let's try this again. Bend needs to be right about there. Now, none of this needs to be exact, but it does need to be close. The second bend needs to be there. AT&T is not being nice to me today. No, sir, don't like it. I wasn't chatting at that moment. Sorry. Glad to see you decided to come back to me, Shane. AT&T is not being nice to me, and Restream isn't either. Don't know why. We're doing better now than we were, though, so no idea. Looks like there are 5 of you hanging out there. Hey, Kevin. You're not chatting either? That's... Get it too far that time? Nope, that time I got it right. I think I just learned a trick. Stay. Thank you. And if I really wanted to, I could start doing something silly like turning it into a upset square corner. But again, that would just be silly. For the nature of this project. All right, we'll come back to that little bit in a bit. Next is to bend up from there by that much. I think this is going to burn off if I try to put this on here, but I'm going to try it anyway. And if it burns off, it burns off. If it doesn't burn off, then I'll have learned something. All right, a flask in the oven, a flask. All right, let's have a little bit of coffee. I was going to stop at the 10 o'clock hour, the top, but I'm close enough to having this done that I think I'm just going to work it until it's done and hope that I'm not hurting too badly to do what I need to do. And I've now learned that if I'm careful, the soapstone does not just burn off. See if I got that right. by taking the other one, laying it on top and trying not to burn myself. And I did get that right. Yay! Go ahead and tighten it up just a little bit. There we go. I think I'll leave it at that. Cool, cool. Now let's see how much trouble I'm causing myself by having all this in here. That takes care of that. Don't need, oof. Don't brush your hand on the hot stuff. Back over here. Let's measure that out. What I would like is that. To get that, let's turn you where you can see what I'm doing there. It's not super exciting, but it's a little exciting. I basically said, try to do that. To make that work, I need to change how I'm holding this. There we go. Come over here. And mark that this will be the inside of my curve. And now that I know soapstone doesn't just burn off, that's pretty cool. But before I can do that, I have to scroll this way, or else it won't go in the direction I need it to. All right. Hey, Rob, Jeff, thank you for coming back. I know this, me working with technical issues in an area where I don't get, decent internet service. Trying to do this in general is its own challenge. There's a lot of things that makes this harder to do than I would like it to be. But I do enjoy hanging out with y'all and seeing the chat, being part of it. I'm not the type of person actually that goes and joins. I'm not a joiner. I don't go out and socialize a whole lot. I never understood why, because I like people. But I also find that it's a very challenging, and oftentimes the environments people want to be in are challenging. And the way people act and understanding what they're doing is challenging. And I never understood the source of those challenges. Only that, boy, did it rob me of energy. You guys don't do that on here. It can be a challenge getting myself out here, and I apologize for that. But I do enjoy hanging out with y'all. All right, let's get that scroll. Let's see if I can remember the order of operations here. First things first, scroll it away from me. And again, if you were looking at this up close like I am, you would see that the tip of this scroll is folded over, But now it's hidden inside, so nobody's going to see that. Only I will, and you, dear watchers, will know that that was a thing. I'm going to heat it back up again. Nice to have a good amount of heat in the scroll area. You get that movement easy without having to mark up the material. Hey, yeah, how did they do it and do YouTube? Man, that was hard back then, I bet. I have a theory, though, about those of us who blacksmith. Because it's a pretty solitary effort. You might have another person working with you, because it would be useful to have like a striker, an assistant in the shop, somebody to pump the bellows, you know, whatever that may be. And that theory is that we liked our alone time. We liked roles that didn't involve talking to people, except about the thing we're about to make. And today, I think it's a special breed still. That's very pretty. All right. And now the next step, and I got way more material here, I think, than I need, but we'll see, is to bend that round from that point, which I still have marked with soapstone. I'm not saying that all of us who smith, that it's a special interest of the autistic set, but I am saying I bet there's a bunch of us that are, and old folks amongst us like that. We wouldn't have been diagnosed anyway. We just would have been challenged through life and found our tribe. And then there's the rest that just don't like people. Just a theory, though. All right. There's the soapstone. See if I'm right about this. Try to get it all to lay flat for a minute here. Not bad for a guy who doesn't have a jig or anything. Just eyeballing it. This would definitely be something I'd create a jig for if I had to make more than 2 or 3 of them, 4 of them. 4 is the magic number here. I'm making 4. Oh, it seemed to be doing better as far as this stream's dropped frames are concerned. Somebody with a cool hat just messaged me. Who has the cool hat? Oh, never mind. It was my wife messaging me something from somebody with a cool hat. All right. I'll look at that in a moment. I have to admit, now that I'm out here doing it, I realized that I'd missed it. It is a lot of fun just to make things, isn't it? Not to sound all Mr. Roger-y, but I'm going to sound a little Mr. Roger-y right then and there. And I don't care. How did I get that to be so smooth? That's right. I think I used, yes, that's right. Somebody reminded me, let's get it back over here again, that I can use a form. Now, what did I use for the form? Was that you, Daniel, that reminded me that I can use a form? Something just the right thickness? Of course, now I have to find the thing that's just the right thickness, and I can't remember what it was. Ah, maybe it was this. Let's check it and see. Ugh. Yep, that was it. Beautiful. All right. Set that there. Nope. Okay. Ugh. I don't remember how I did it last time, so we're going to do it either the same way or a different way this time. Who knows? We're going to go here. We're going to prevent motion sickness for the few people that are actually watching the stream. Of course, can't see that because there's so much sunlight coming in on top of it. We're going to do this to try and balance it out some. I sure can't see it. Nope, I don't like that there. I'm going to trip on it. All right. That's incredible. The light balance just isn't working for me. I hope you guys can see that. Find out. I think I actually just used the plate on the anvil, but do it this way this time. That makes it look professional. How nice is that? Professional and purty. That's lovely. All right, that part's done. All right. Wasn't that exciting? All that set up for such a little reward, but process proven. Back over here. I'm going to do one last thing, and it is done. Needs to hand air cool so I don't accidentally honestly don't think this light is doing anything at this point. Last thing I'm going to do is just put a little flare on the end, like on this one. And then I'll probably do just like I did on this one and file it round so that I don't have the sharp edges to deal with. A little flare should make it easier to put the sawhorse on it. All I should have to do that is that, and then I need to push it back to where it came from. Do that like that. There we go. If I was really worried about being perfectly square, I can do that. That looks good. I think that's what one would call good enough. We're going to give it a brush off. Really doesn't have to be clean. It's going to end up being rusty over time. I'm not going to treat it. But there you go. Both functional as well as just a little bit pretty, which is always what I'm shooting for. Come on. Ow. Don't get your hand in there, Jack. It burns. All metal's hot, right? It didn't burn me. Got fortunate there. All right. Let's see how well I did. Shall we? There's today's effort. Here's last time's effort. We'll see. If the sawhorse doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But if it does, then I got pretty darn good. It's not the exact same dimensions, but it is close enough. We know this dimensionality is perfect. This dimensionality might need adjusting. We'll see. No, it won't, because yes, it might. It might. This might not be wide enough, but that'll be easy to fix. I'll just open that up and close it back up, and we're back to good again. So, turn this off. Grab another set of tongs so you can actually see what I'm talking about at a different angle. I can't touch that one. There we go. You can see I made this one just a little bit deeper. Not really a big deal. It's also just a hair bit less wide, so the sawhorse may not fit, and I may have to do some adjusting on it. But I'm still pretty proud of the effort. To freehand something like this, it took me roughly an hour, hour 20. So much of that time is spent in heats. Fortunately, that little forge heats up things really fast, and I could probably work faster if I paid more attention to what I was doing. Put this. Oh. We'll come back to this in a minute. And then, what do I want now? I want to take you all over to everybody's favorite camera view. I swear this thing needs some, I need to find a way to manually adjust the the exposure. All right, we're going to go with that. Actually, we're going to do this. We're going to focus right about there. And then we'll pull up to there. I need to learn this camera better, and then I maybe could handle doing manual exposure, but I haven't done that. So we're going to go here. Uh-oh, scrolling back. I was there. I'm not that old, Ben. If the sawhorse doesn't fit. Let's see here. Everybody loves hearing the rasp, right? Like the others, we just take off corners until it looks roundish. And that's done. If it's done, why am I still messing with it, right? That looks lovely. All right. That will work wonders. Well, ladies and germs, I said I was going to make it a shorter stream. Looks like I'm making it shorter by about 35 minutes, 30 minutes. Daniel, here's hoping that things go your way pretty quickly here. Ben, watch out for tarantulas. That's right. If the wood's too tight, just shave down the wood. Much easier than reworking the rebar. Much like drinking tea at Alice in Wonderland, Ben. I guess I couldn't do it any less. Yes, I'm glad to be back into the swing of things myself. There's every reason to believe I'll be back out here next week. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys join me again, because it's a lot of fun to just sit here and chat with you guys and see what's going on in your world, share a bit of what's going on in my world, make something. So, you know, as John Switzer always said, get out in your shop and make something. And until then, or while being there, put some light out in the world, spread some love. Love and light, everybody.